Greetings to all. The sun has come back here, and so have the Jaboticabas. I have Jaboticaba all over the ground here because the birds are crazy with this, and every time I get a good crop of them, they show up over here and start knocking the stuff off all over. But I have plenty left for me too. Oh, man, these are good. This particular tree makes fruit that's a little bit larger than my other tree. Yeah, this one over here, the fruit is a little bit smaller. Not a lot, but a little bit. And it's earlier to bear. And the flavor is a little bit more resinous, a little bit more character. They're really close. They really are, but I like the little guy over here better. And this is the one that when I offer up seed or I have plants in the nursery, this is a tree that everything comes from, because it definitely is earlier to bear, and Jaboticaba being kind of slow to produce fruit is one of the issues. I do have some Rosa seedlings. Yeah, that's the red one that's supposed to bear in 3 or 4 years, and it does. Joe Hewitt brought the seeds in from an experimental station in Brazil. I grew them. We turned around, we planted them out at Joe's place, and his trees are already making fruit, and that is barely 3-4 years time. So yeah, they're right on schedule, and then I harvested the fruit from Joe's trees, and I have planted it here on the island. So I now have a bunch of Rosa around here, and I'll have more. Its flavor is pretty good too. It's a reddish colored fruit. Otherwise, it's similar of most Jaboticaba. I don't think it's as tasty as the purple ones. Oh man. Yeah, so we got plenty of seed, no sweat. This is an outstanding plant. If you live anywhere where the temperature doesn't drop too much below freezing for very long in the winter, this plant is possible. I'd give it probably zone 9 USDA. I know we had them in Fremont. I couldn't get them to grow in my Sunset Zone 15 garden. I kept losing the plants over the winter, but Dave Pellerin, Ranger Dave, had surviving trees out at Quarry Lakes in Fremont, California. They were on a peninsula in the lake, so it was, moderated, and he did get his trees out of Southern California from some nursery, and I don't know what their genetics were. They apparently were a little tougher than what I was using, but fact is, I know I have seen fruiting trees in the Bay Area in California, so I'd say at least near the coast from San Francisco south, these plants are possible. Boy, I'll tell you, they're just so cool. I mean, look at these things. The bark is beautiful. These are myrtus, so they're in the guava and the crepe myrtle family, and they have that classic myrtus bark that's so pretty to look at. The trees are relatively slow growing. They don't get into trouble fast. The fruit is really easy to pick, just like that. Yeah. In this climate, they really don't ever stop bearing. The tree doesn't really have a season that's distinct. It just kind of randomly produces crops throughout the year. Sometimes they're big ones, sometimes they're little ones. It varies. It's never the same. The one, though, is that every year as these trees get older and older, my crops get larger and larger and larger every time they fruit. One of these days, I'm not going to be surprised to find that I have berries up and down all of the trunks everywhere, solid. What a fruit tree. Yeah. The only maintenance I have to do with these, other than picking, really, is I do open up the bottoms here. I take the trees and I prune out the twigs in between the branches. Allows for two things. It brings a little more light in there so I get more fruit. And it makes it harder for the birds to perch so they can peck at the fruit. If they got too many twigs in there, then it's really easy for them to perch and peck everything. Yep. So, there you go, folks. One of my favorite fruit trees, the Jaboticaba. And I have also noted that it seems to absolutely love this elevation in Hawaii. And so this fruit loves mountain view. It's a real good choice up the mountain. Aloha. Bye-bye. Hang loose, eh?